Alrighty then. So I'm going to make a beef stew the way my ma used to make it 50 years ago. So this is a beef sirloin tip roast and a beef round roast. Two are the quote lesser quality beef roasts, but they're just fine for making a pot roast, or like I'm going to do, make a beef stew. So first things first, thaw it out. And the high-tech method of thawing out frozen meat is a water bath. So we've just got this bucket. The roasts go in there. The more water you use, I use warm water, kind of warmish, kind of hottish. My favorite pot for making a big stew, I think this is, Caroline, is this big silver pot 8 quarts? Yeah, it is. 8 quarts, 7.6 liters.
Yeah.
All right. Back to work here on the stew. It is good to have a sharp knife. So, the old hickory butcher knife and a whetstone. Sharpen this sucker up a little bit. Yes, I know you've probably seen different ways of sharpening a knife than this. I'm not saying those methods are wrong, just saying this is how I get my knife sharp. So that was a whetstone. This is called a steel. All it is a rod of steel. Do one stripe on the one side of the blade, the next stripe on the other side of the blade. Now let's see if it's sharp. Sharp right there. I'm able to shave with that little chunk. That little section of blade, this part up here, it's okay. It's not near as sharp as this down here. Let's hit it with the steel a little more. That's better. Now, a real cutting board with a blood groove in it. And we'll take our first cut of meat, first chunk of meat. Now see this, it's got liquid in there. People say that's blood. It's actually not blood. It's called mile water, which is basically because if it was blood, it would be coagulating. It's not coagulating, so it can't be blood. It's called mile water. It's the inside of cells. The inside of each meat cell has got some liquid. It's called myoglobin, and this stuff is called mile water. And take our knife. Really helps having a good sharp knife. Since I'm going to be cubing this up, it doesn't matter too much which direction I cut it in, because all the fibers are not going to be very long anyway. Doesn't really matter. I like to make cubes about an inch square. That might be too big for most people, but that's what I like. And then it just goes right in the pot. This is Grandma's style of stew. It's not like anything fancy. It's just how to make stew. Technology of not cutting your fingers is you curve your fingers a little bit like that. You're not going to cut yourself that way. You're not going to cut your tip of your finger off, because the top, the top of the blade is away from the tip, and the top of the blade is not dull. Just the very tip is, the very edge of the blade is sharp. So that was the round roast. That was, wait, 2.9 pounds. This one here is a sirloin tip roast, and it is 2.7 pounds. So yeah, it's almost 6 pounds of meat. Probably more than most would ever use. But I like to make big pots of stew, or when I make chicken soup, I make, you know, the 8-quart bucket here, 8-quart pot, pretty filled. It's pretty good meat. It's got some marbling in it. Looks like I need to hit this sucker again. My friend Tim the Butcher has a steel with him all the time, and he's all the time keeping his blade sharp. Keep your blade good and sharp. You can get 6 or 8 times as much work done with it. As, you know, a dull blade, you gotta work at getting it through the meat, stuff like that. Suppose I could get this going here. I'm going to put it on a fairly medium heat, not high heat. The butcher always says it's much easier to cut meat if it's cold also. If it's got a little frost in it, yeah, your fingers get cold, but it's stiffer and it cuts much easier. Alright, it's 33 minutes later. Smells pretty good. I'm just going to poke one of these guys. Now I'm testing for flavor, and I'm testing for how cooked it is, how tender it is. Still pretty chewy. I'm giving it another 30. Oh, and I pulled out the stuff that I have to put in here. This is cilantro. I think I'm going to leave that out, not use that. I got some corn that we froze, I don't know, probably 2 years ago. Been in the freezer. Some peas that left over from a dinner a couple days ago. A bunch of potatoes, some baby carrots, a couple jalapenos, and 4 tomatoes. And I don't think the pot's going to be big enough. So, yeah, we're going to let it go for its 30 minutes. Then we're going to probably get into a bigger pot and start cutting this stuff up and throwing it in. There you go. All right. It's 30 minutes later. That is very good. And now, time to go to the biggest pot we got. Shouldn't really have to do this, but I kind of screwed up. Can't see because my glasses are all clogged up. There we go. This guy's dry enough. Put this up here out of the way. Put this away. Alrighty then. Now I'm going to turn this on again. Except now it's going to be less heat. Just a hair above low. And I think I will start with the jalapenos. Use the flat side of the cutting board. I'm cutting these jalapenos in quarters so that there's more surface area for the liquid to get at, so flavor gets into the liquid. One of the good parts of stew is you cook it for a long time and the flavors get all mixed around. Now, an important point. Wash your hands after cutting up jalapenos. Don't have to make a big deal out of it, but if you go touching your eyes after cutting jalapenos, it's not that good of an idea. So now the corn. I'll cool everything down in there. And the peas. I think I'll cut these carrots. There's a bad one.
Daddy, I'm hungry! Oh, look, you moved into the bigger pot, like I said.
Yeah.
You gonna cut these up?
I'm just going to cut them in half.
Maybe like physically pains me to watch you cut.
Why?
Because I think you could do it the faster way.
Really? You would stack a whole bunch of them?
First, you can take your fingers.
Oh, that's cheating.
Oh, these are slimy.
They're okay.
Did you wash them?
No, but I will.
Dad. Oh, you will after you cut them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Carrots in?
Is this something Grandma would make when she had a bunch of whatever?
Yeah.
What are the spices?
So far, the only spices are some seasoned salt and 2 jalapenos.
Oh, you need more. You need,
Salt and pepper?
oh, you could put Cajun spice in it. You want enough to make it hot and, hot, the same spice hot as temperature hot.
Keep in mind, Mom, we're very white people.
Yeah, but we lived in LA.
Do you want to put all these potatoes in, Bodie?
Yeah. You have a problem with that, sir?
Not really.
I mean, you have an awful lot of meat.
Need some more water. Maybe one more. Not very hot. So,
We got more jalapenos. I got more jalapenos in the crisper if you want.
no, I mean it's not very temperature hot.
Oh, you need to raise the goddamn.
Just heat it up a little bit. It looks pretty good.
Does it smell good?
It's going to be kind of bland. I think we need more salt.
Don't let Mom bully you into putting no salt in. Live free.
Stay salty.
Give me salt or give me death.
You know what? We need the other
Chicken back.
secret ingredient. Pepper. Thought we had some garlic.
We do.
Where?
It's minced up. It's in the drawer. On the right side.
Of this thing?
Minced up garlic you put in that.
I don't see no garlic.
Watch out. It's not full. It's minced.
Oh, behind the door.
Did I say in the door?
You said behind the drawer.
Fine. Fine. I'm not going to argue with him.
Garlic.
Garlic?
Okay. So that 30 minutes or 40 minutes is over. It's cooking. Potatoes got a ways to go. Carrots definitely got a ways to go. I think I'll leave the top off so it cooks down a little bit more. You know, a little bit less juice. Give it another 40 minutes. It's at a kind of a simmer right now. Maybe a strong simmer, but it's definitely not boiling. You know, like a big rolling boil. I should taste the juice, see if it needs something. Didn't blow on that one enough. I think it needs another jalapeno. If one jalapeno is good, why not go with two? If I had some squash, I might put some squash in there to thicken it up a little bit. But it's pretty good. Smells great out here. 30 minutes is done, or how much ever time it was. Carrots are about done. Potatoes are pretty well done. I think I'm just going to give it another 20 minutes or so.
Coat the bottom of the pan.
Yeah, making my stew. Most times I just do it for like 3 minutes, maybe 3.5. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. A bowl of stew. That's comfort food.